Viewer discretion is advised. Go where no man has gone before.
In your face. It'll knock your socks off.
Broadcasting live from thunderstormy downtown Cleveland at station WDWL TV, home of not one, but 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and an Oscar. And as we all know, the flashing G stands for me, your host, Grumpy. And we're brought to you, unfortunately, by... What the fuck? A neck brace? Oh, you asshole, I didn't hit you that hard. Goddamn bird's got a neck brace on. Oh, you want me to hit you? I'll hit you. You believe that? Break a neck brace on the goddamn bird. I didn't hit him that hard last night. Asshole. A neck brace. Unfrickin' believable. A neck brace. I'll put him in a neck brace. You believe that? Oh, yeah, give me that. Give me the stink eye. Yeah. Oh. I knew there was something up. He'd been in the CEO's office all morning. A neck brace. Yeah, I'm staring at you in the camera. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Gee, one little tap on the beak and all of a sudden he's got goddamn whiplash. Unbelievable. Yep. Looks like time to move him out of the studio and bring in the grumpy jackalope. A little tap on the beak and we're wearing a frickin' neck brace today. Huh? Well, I was going to show you the fancy new lights that I got for the Passat, and then I realized I left them in the car. I'll bring them in and show you tomorrow. Yeah, I got another set today. Although maybe what I'll do, I'll just wait until I get them installed, and then wait till around dusk, and then do a 360 video of the car in action. Thing's going to have more lights than a Christmas tree by the time I get done. Of course, maybe I'll wait until after April 15th. We know why. Oh, we got a thunderstorm going on here. If it keeps up, I'm going to have to be on basement duty. Because when we get a real heavy rainfall, all the basements in this neighborhood flood. And if I start getting water in the basement, I have to run down and disconnect all the wiring for the computer on the goddamn hot water tank. Because if water gets in the sensor, it blows the fucking computer, and I'm on the third one already. And I don't think Ream wants to send me a fourth one. Although they were real good about 1, 2, and 3. I couldn't believe it the last time. It was a month to the day that we got water in the basement. And I called Ream and I said, you ain't going to believe this. And the guy said, what's that? I said, well, would you believe a month to the day I got water again? He said, really? I said, yeah. I said, remember, I had gotten water on the 24th? What was yesterday? And the guy said, the 24th. I said, yep. And guess what? And he goes, you need another brain for the hot water tank. I said, yeah. He said, all right. It'll be overnighted to you. Although I have to check. I can't remember if the tank has an 8-year warranty or a 10-year. I think it's 8. I think I'm still in the warranty period. Although, like the guy told me, he said you have 3 wire connections. If you go down and you disconnect all 3 of those wires, it won't short the computer out. So the last time I got water, I ran downstairs, disconnected the 3 wires. Luckily, the water only came in about 5 foot and then went right back out again. A friend of mine told me I need to build a dam around the hot water tank. It's a pain in the ass, these basements. I'll tell you what. These basements have been flooding for 75 years. And you would think the goddamn city would do something about the sewer system? Nope. 75 goddamn years these basements have been flooding. And I know because I've lived on this street all my life. Well, I lived around the corner for 20 years, but all the houses in this goddamn neighborhood get water in the basement when we get a storm like this. So as soon as the show's over, I'll be hot-footing it down the basement to see if I got water. And it's not rainwater either. Oh, man. Last time I got water, there was silt in the basement and goddamn old decaying leaves, and the basement smelled like a morgue. 75 goddamn years. And possibly longer. And now the city ran new sewers 2 streets over and, well, 1 street over and then 2 streets over. I don't know if it's going to improve it. All I know is I'll be making a water check when I leave the studio. It's real bullshit. And it don't do any good to complain to the city. Because I guarantee if I get water in the basement tonight and I call the city, they'll say, well, we just put new sewers in. Well, you didn't put new sewers on my street. The streets that they put the new sewers in run into my street. So yeah, put bigger pipes on those 2 streets, which means more water can flow. Let's put some bigger pipes on my street. But it's been the same shit every spring for 75 years. I remember when I had my house up the street. One year, the water was so bad that basically we were in canoes paddling up and down the street because the sewers backed up and the streets flooded, and we were out in canoes paddling around. I had water in my basement 2 feet from the ceiling. When I went down my steps, the water was at the 3rd step. It looked like a giant, filthy swimming pool. Oh, everything got destroyed. The furnace, the hot water tank, the washer, the dryer. I had a freezer down there. Yeah, the water was 2 feet from the basement ceiling. That's how much water I had. And we were in canoes out in the front. I had pictures. I don't know what the hell ever happened to them. Somebody had taken pictures of us paddling our canoes up and down the flooded street. And my neighbors laughed at me because, now I don't know if they still offer it, but at that time, State Farm offered flood insurance and earthquake insurance. And it was only a couple of bucks more a month. And I told my agent, add it to the policy. And about 6 weeks later, I was calling him going, guess what? I need to use my flood insurance. And he said, how deep was the water? I said 2 feet from the ceiling. He asked if I had pictures. I said, yep. I'm standing on my stairway looking at a giant, dirty swimming pool. And I'll tell you what, State Farm was Johnny on the spot. Within 2 days, they were replacing my hot water tank, my furnace, my washer, my dryer, my freezer. They paid me for all the ruined food, and they sent, what the hell was that company? Oh, what the hell was that company? At the time, it was Service Master. Now I think the name of it is Serve Pro. They sent a cleaning crew out. Man, talk about a nice spiffy basement when they got done. Yeah, it was Service Master. Because when I told my neighbors I had flood and earthquake insurance, they laughed. And that basically was the same year Ohio experienced an earthquake. I didn't have any damage, but I don't know if they still offer it. Oh, Kathy, for 75 years the city been saying they're going to fix the issue. Now, the reason that they put new sewers in 2 streets over was because every house on that street flooded. Every single house. And besides putting new sewers in, they came out and they snaked out every single drain in every single house. And then they ran cameras through the pipes to make sure that the drains were clean. You think they would do that here? Nope. But I'm no longer with State Farm. I never bothered to ask Progressive if they offer flood insurance. I don't know why. I've been with Progressive 25 years now, so that's been a while back. But yeah, I remember my State Farm agent. He stopped by one day. He goes, "We have some new additions to the insurance policy if you're interested." And I said, "Well, what's that?" He said, "Well, we offer flood insurance and earthquake." I said, "How much?" It was like $3 more a month for the flood insurance and $250 for the earthquake. I said, "Sign me up." And it wasn't too long after he signed me up. My basement flooded. And then we had an earthquake. Matter of fact, at the time, I was talking to my buddy who was the swing bridge, the railroad swing bridge operator in Toledo on the Maumee River. And I thought the fucking Ford plant blew up because our building shook. And I says to him, I said, "Holy shit, the building just shook." And about 15 seconds later, he was like, "Holy shit, the bridge is shaking." Then we heard on the news that Ohio had an earthquake. Yeah, I think I only paid like 3 months on that policy. I paid in about $15 and State Farm ended up spending a couple of thousand. Yeah, brand new furnace, brand new hot water tank, brand new washer and dryer, brand new freezer. I think it was $300 for the destroyed food. And Service Master, boy, that basement wasn't that clean when I moved into the house. Holy shit, did they do a job. That's like my washer and dryer right now are on platforms 24 inches off the floor. It makes it kind of a bitch to reach in the washer, but I don't care. Yeah, there's 2 big platforms. My washer and dryer are up. Unfortunately, I have to figure out how to build a dam around the hot water tank. Because my furnace is up 18 inches off the floor. See, originally, when I moved in here, the hot water tank was 24 inches off the floor, and it was one of them little shorties, but it was a big fatty. And they don't even make that tank anymore. So they had to put a standard one in. And I have to figure out how to build the dam with brick around that hot water tank where it would be waterproof. I guess maybe build a brick like a moat, and then get cans of that. What the hell is that stuff they advertise on? It's a water sealer. You've seen the commercial where they build a boat out of this shit. They take the tape and they build a boat and the guy is out. Seal all or something. I can't remember the name of the stuff. Yeah, Flex Seal. It works. That shit works. I swear by it. That Flex Seal has the grumpy flashing G of approval because it works. I have used it many times. Matter of fact, as soon as the weather gets better, this house has got that, and Kathy, you would remember when they had plastic bathroom tile. You know, now everything is ceramic, but years ago they had plastic tile. Well, my tiles in my shower are starting to get a little loose. So as soon as the weather gets better, I'm gonna seal them, and then I'm gonna get spray cans of Flex Seal clear, and spray the shit out of the shower walls. Yeah, my bathroom has ugly yellow with a black border. Looks like something you'd put in a morgue. Of course, it's as old as the house. But some of them are getting a little loose. So I'm going to get caulking, and I'm going to caulk the loose ones, and then get a couple of cans of clear Flex Seal and spray the shit out of the shower and waterproof all them tiles. That's like the shit box. There's rust along the top of the windshield. And it used to leak when it got wet. So I bought the Flex Seal tape, and I just ran from one end of the roof of the cab to the other and stopped the water leak. To this day, so I swear by that. It gets the grumpy flashing G of approval. Highly rated. Matter of fact, they don't even make them plastic tiles anymore. God, I remember when my father redid the bathroom at the house I grew up in. My mother picked out alabaster. It was basically like a white tile with swatches of blue and green, and it almost looked like you were looking at a pearl. The whole bathroom. I couldn't wait to leave that house. Then I move in this one. I'm like, oh fuck, plastic tile again. I can't get away from plastic tile. Oh, it's still raining. I hear it. I hope I don't see water in the basement. It's a mess to clean up. Not to mention the house smells like a swamp for about a month. No matter what you do. Shit, I sprayed the basement the last time with frickin' gallons of disinfectant, and I even bought a gallon of Dawn and scrubbed the floor down with Dawn. Oh, what a mess. Oh, I'm not looking forward to that.
Whatever.
I'll give you a reason to wear that neck brace. Oh, he's going to try my patience now. I'm going to stick a cork in your ass. Neck brace. Sissy ass bird. Vultures are supposed to be mean, nasty, rotten. One little tap on the beak. We come in with a neck brace. Oh yeah, I come in the studio this morning and I saw him, the old wings flapping, running down the hall to the CEO's office. The hotline's in the other studio, so he can't call me. Hotline could have been ringing. I never heard it. Maybe the CEO came down to visit the studio. Although I was out messing with the Passat today. And then I told didn't recognize that phone number. Decline. You like my new ringtone? Considering I was never in the military. Oh, that one would piss my father off because he was in the Army. What do you mean, Marine Corps? Him?
Wow!
Yeah, I told you I had bought a new battery for the shitbox. But the weather's been too goddamn cold. So today, it's 72 degrees, sunny. I go out, open the hood on the shitbox, disconnect the old dead battery, go to put the new battery in, wrong battery. The battery posts were on the wrong side. So I called the battery shop and I said, hey, buddy, guess what? That battery you brought me don't fit. The posts are on the wrong side. He said, no problem, I'll bring you another one. And on his way home from work, he brought me another one. It's nice having the owner of a battery sales company living up the street who drives past your house several times. Well, it helps that I've been going to him for 30 years, too. Yeah, his father opened that business 30 years ago. Then, unfortunately, Dad passed, and the son took it over. Yeah, he just lives up the street. Matter of fact, when I bought the battery for the shitbox, the original one, I asked him to deliver it. And he said, no problem, I will. Well, great kid. Great kid. But, like I say, he knows I only buy my batteries there. It's the only place I'll buy a car battery. And besides the delivery, I get a bargain. He has what they call reconditioned. Now, they are brand new batteries. The only problem is they're like meat. They're past the sell date. And places like, Walmart, Advanced Auto, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, they can't sell that battery because it's past the sell date. It's a brand new battery. So he buys them when they get swapped out, and he sells them for a really discounted price. And he warrants them. And I have been buying them there for 30 years, and I have never had a bad one. Never. Because I'll tell you, I went up to AutoZone, and because I needed a battery for the Passat. The guy looks it up and he goes, that'll be $192.50. I said, what? For a battery? Yep, $192.50. I'll pass. So I called Battery Empire. And I said, I need a battery for my Passat. How much? He said, you want a new one or a recon? I said, come on, buddy. Do I buy new? He said, $51.50. Bring me one, please. And he delivered it. Yeah, $192.50 at AutoZone. I'm getting the same battery, brand new, $51.50. As a matter of fact, the hilarious thing was, when he brought the battery, it was an AutoZone battery. Because he took it out of the truck and I started to laugh. And he goes, what's so funny? I said, that's an AutoZone battery. He said, yeah. I said, you know how much that battery costs brand new? He said, yeah, $192.50. I said, AutoZone thought I was going to buy that battery from them. Oh, I've gotten AutoZone, I've gotten diehards, trying to think the other battery names. I don't know if I got an advanced, yeah, I think I got an advanced auto battery. One company makes, no, there's two, because Interstate, they make their own. And Interstate batteries are white and green. And then you have, I don't know if it's still Exide. I'm going to have to ask him who the battery manufacturer is. They make thousands of batteries, and AutoZone will say, okay, we need, 1,000. So 1,000 batteries get slapped with a decal that says AutoZone. And then I had diehard, so he doesn't, I'm going to have to ask him. He's never had Interstate batteries. I don't know if Interstate maybe sells their own when they're past the sell-by date, but I've had batteries with every name on them. Exide, Diehard, AutoZone, Duralast. And like I say, the hilarious thing was when he took it out of the truck. Man, it's got AutoZone on it. I said, I called AutoZone and got a price. He goes, why'd you do that? I said, for the hell of it. I said, I wanted to know how much money I was saving. And I have never had a battery go bad. Matter of fact, the battery in the shit box was a 48-month battery, and I've had the thing well over 4 years, that battery, and the only reason it finally conked out on me was because the thing got hit. So I'll put the new battery in, and I'll run up, and Ryan will do a little diagnostic work and find out which one of the relays is wacky in the relay box, and then I'll be able to drive the shit box on a regular basis without having to worry about the frickin' battery being dead in the morning. But I'll tell you, Battery Empire. I love it! And they're just a couple of blocks up the street. But why in God's green earth would I shell out $200 when I'm getting the same battery for $51.50? You know, years ago, there were multiple battery manufacturers. Not anymore. You got Interstate and I'm going to say Exide, but I don't think so. Although Exide used to be huge back in the day. Matter of fact, at one time, Exide was one of the biggest sellers of batteries. And then Interstate came in and kind of crunched into their business. But basically, batteries are all made the same way. Interstate is making them the same way as, I'll say, Exide. It's just the case. That's the only difference. 90% of your batteries are in black cases. Interstates are in white and green. Although there is, what the hell's the name of that? Optima. You also have Optima batteries, which are outrageous in price. Of course, you know, Optima says you can just about drop their batteries off a cliff and they'll still be good, but I think just for the hell of it, I asked the guy at AutoZone, because they carry Optima, how much an Optima battery would be for the Passat. It was like $257 or something. I ain't paying that kind of money for a battery. I'll buy them from Battery Empire and get the same thing. You know, basically, if you keep up on your maintenance and you make sure your battery terminals are clean and your alternator, you know, your serpentine belt is not old and slipping, as long as your alternator is turning, it's charging that battery. Oh, I didn't know they were that old. I knew they were an old company. Wow. 1888. Like I say, they used to be one of the biggest in the United States. No matter where you went, every goddamn gas station and auto parts store had an Exide battery sign on their building. If they're still in business, I would tend to think that's what the battery is that I got. It's an Exide battery with a Duralast label on it. You know, it's like years ago. GE and Kenmore were built in the same factory. Same washer. It's same thing like this. You got one manufacturer. So I would tend to think this is an Exide battery. And, you know, AutoZone calls and says, we need 10,000 batteries. Okay. The next 10,000 come out with a sticker that says AutoZone Duralast. Same thing when Craftsman, you know, Die Hard. Sears would call Exide and say, we need 100,000 batteries. Okay, 100,000 come out with Die Hard on them. And I could guarantee at 51 bucks, he's making money on this battery because he's not going to, you know, sell a battery and make $5. I bet you he probably buys them from Exide for 10 bucks a battery, maybe 20, 25. All I know is when I've gone up there, he's got pallets full of batteries. Car batteries for as far as the eye can see. And he's got commercial batteries. He got semi batteries. He's got batteries for forklifts, electric forklifts. I mean, he sells all kinds of batteries. But why would I walk into AutoZone and pay 200 bucks when I get the same battery for $51.50? He gives a full 1-year replacement warranty, where everywhere else it's prorated. there was no way I was going to put a $200 battery in the Passat when I paid $200 for the car. And get home delivery. I remember every goddamn gas station had a sign on their building, "We sell Exide batteries." And then after Interstate came in, Exide kind of went by the wayside. Well, with them, making batteries for everybody under the sun, I'll tell you, I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't think there is any difference between an 18-month battery and a 48-month battery except the price. Because I bought over the years, before I was going to Battery Empire, I'd go in the auto parts store and say, "Give me the cheapest fucking battery you got." Well, it's an 18-month, okay, whatever. And 3 years later, it's still working. As long as your charging system is working properly, your battery will be charged constantly. But, the average person doesn't think about checking their serpentine belt. The major problem today is when that belt breaks, everything goes. Your air conditioning, your alternator, your water pump, everything runs off of one fucking belt. Years ago, cars had multiple belts. You had a belt for your water pump, you had a belt for your alternator, and a belt for your air conditioner. That way, if one of them belts broke, everything didn't go down. These new cars, your serpentine belt breaks, you're screwed.
Wow!
Yep. Then people are standing on the side of the road going,
WTF?
"Why did the car overheat?" "Oh, got no belt."
For Pete's sake!
And, the worst thing manufacturers did was when they put the auto tensioner on. Because back in the day, when you had separate belt, you tested, "Oh, this belt is loose. Oh, all right, we got to tighten it up." Now with the tensioner, it keeps that belt tight all the time, but when that belt gets old and starts to crack, you got to, you take that serpentine belt and you just turn it a little bit. And then you look and see if there's cracks in it. And if you see cracks in it, it's time to replace it. But nobody bothers to look. The only time a serpentine belt gets replaced is when it breaks. That's the first thing I did on the Passat when I had the alternator put on it. I had new belts. Because the Passat takes two. It takes the big serpentine belt that runs the water pump and the alternator, and then it's got a little serpentine belt for the air conditioner. Because when we got the car running, the alternator wasn't working. So I decided, while they've got the alternator off, change the belts. So I bought the belts, I bought the alternator. Then I had the oil and filter changed. The coolant was perfect. I didn't have to mess with it. So everything was good. The only thing I have to do is change the spark plugs. Because they recommend changing them between 125 and 150,000 miles. And I got 157,000, so I'm big deal. Four spark plugs. I can do that. Yeah, with that car sitting, and I had no idea how old the belts were. They were cheap enough. Change them. Change the belts. Change the oil. Change the filter. I have to order spark plugs. As soon as the weather's like it was today, I'll put 4 new plugs in. That I can do. And then I'll be good for another 100,000 miles, which will be the life of the car, because I ain't never going to put 100,000 miles on that car. I just have to remember next September, change the oil. Get its yearly oil change. I marked another day off the calendar today. Can't wait until I see that big circle. 15. Hopefully by the end of the day I get a phone call. Because if not, I'm going to be really upset. Yeah, I watched, a matter of fact, I had just finished up the court case before airtime. I was almost late. There was this guy, he was in Judge Stevens' courtroom. And it was his 4th DUI, and unfortunately, he killed 2 people. And he got up on the stand and he said, I don't want probation. I just want my jail time. I'm guilty. I shouldn't have been driving. I killed 2 people. I deserve jail. So then the prosecutor starts to chastise the shit out of this guy. Well, you were at this bar and you had 9 beers, and then you went over to this other bar and you had a couple of shots and more beers, and didn't you know what you were doing? And the guy was like, hey, he said, I'm pleading guilty. I'm asking for the maximum jail time. What are you yelling at me for? And I agreed with him. The prosecutor had no reason to chastise the guy. He admitted he did something stupid. He had remorse for killing 2 people. He asked for the maximum jail time. What more do you want out of this guy? And the prosecutor was just beating on him. I would like, if I had been a judge, I would have said, there's no need for that. How many guys get up and say, give me the maximum jail time? And he got 40 years. And he didn't blink an eye. He said, I deserve whatever the judicial system gives me. I want the maximum punishment because I'm guilty. How many people get up in court and do that? Most of them get up and go, wasn't me. I'm innocent. I mean, this guy was a rarity. He turned right to the judge and he said, give me the max. I'm guilty. I have never seen that. I have never seen a defendant turn to the judge and say, give me the maximum time. And then the judge did. 40 years. For vehicular manslaughter. And the guy didn't blink an eye. But the prosecutor was just chastising the shit out of him. The guy feels like an asshole to begin with. He killed this guy's fiancée. The guy's, he's up crying on the stand. I lost the woman in my dreams. And the guy issued a formal apology, and he said, there's nothing I can say that will bring your loved one back. All I can say is, I want the maximum sentence because I'm guilty. I would like to kick that prosecutor right in the balls. I thought I had an ouch. I don't have an ouch. That would have been good. No ouch. Maybe in the others here. Let me look. See if I have an ouch. A little late now. I should have looked for it earlier. No, that's not an ouch.
OMG.
I don't have an ouch. You would think there'd be an ouch in here.
Get him out of here!
No ouch. That would have been perfect. Never have the right sound effect.
Whatever.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Looking at these titles for these thumbnails is starting to really get aggravating. You know, you read down it and courtroom chaos, you know. Judge shocks courtroom. Sovereign citizen this and sovereign citizen. And then you listen to it and there's like, there ain't no sovereign citizen in this. There was no courtroom chaos. Talk about clickbait. And more than one YouTuber is doing it. Yeah, you go down, courtroom chaos erupts. And then you listen to the court case and where's the chaos? There isn't any. Matter of fact, I've been commenting, clickbait. Anytime I come across one, clickbait. I don't get any responses back. None of my thumbnails are clickbait. Whatever I put in my thumbnail, I talk about. Maybe I'm going to have to do that. Grumpy shocks. Chaos in the studio. Yeah, maybe I should put some thumbnail up like that. Chaos in Grumpy studio. The vulture erupts. That's not the erupt that I wanted. I'm gonna take that neck brace and I'm gonna make it out of plaster. I'll fix him. I'll fix him. He'll have a plaster cast on his neck. Goddamn neck brace. Sissy ass vulture.
Damn.
So, Kathy, you supposed to have rain down there? Because it's probably moving that way. Although I didn't look at the weather map. But usually what we have here kind of moves down your direction. Although we had, you know, 1.5 feet of snow and you got a dusting, you know. I'm going to have to retire down there. I'll move in and become your neighbor. Although I I probably wouldn't be able to get license plates for the shit box. They'd be like, holy crap, that thing should have been junked 10 years ago. Oh, it's tomorrow? Yeah, okay, it's moving your way. Moving a little slow, but... Yeah, see, that was another reason I didn't move out of Ohio. Because my vehicles wouldn't pass the inspections. Especially Pennsylvania. Oh, my shitbox would have been junked 25 years ago in Pennsylvania. You ain't allowed to drive anything like this thing. Although I do have to watch because there are some suburbs that will take me off the road for a cracked windshield. I avoid them suburbs. I don't need no safety check. Because Lakewood can get pretty pricky at times. I remember them citing a guy, he had a cracked windshield. He was missing the side view mirror. He had a bald tire. I can't remember what else they cited him for. They wrote him a shitload of tickets, then towed his car. I'm like, I don't need that. Although the first thing I'm going to do when I am legal I am going to go into Lakewood and I am going to get my new key fob and key cut and my new key fob programmed so that I have a working key fob and 2 keys for my car. It's right in here. And I have a fancy key fob case for it too, that I won't put on until after the guy programs the key fob. But yeah, I have a nice expensive key fob case to go around the key fob. I'll get that done, and then I will drive through Parma and get the window fixed in the driver's door. Boy, I would have loved to put the window down today. Boy, it's days like this that it really sucks that I can't put the driver's door window down. Those are the 2 things once it's legal. Get the key taken care of, get the key fob programmed, and then go get the window fixed. And then the car will be done. 100%. And at that point, all the lights will go on it. Whoa. Some big thunder boomers out there. God, I don't want to go down and disconnect all them wires on that hot water tank. Oh. But I don't trust this goddamn... See, part of the problem is when our basements flood, it's not our water. it's water from Brook Park. Because the water flows into the interceptor, and then the interceptor takes it out to the lake. Well, on the way to the lake, it flows through this neighborhood. And the interceptor has big 8-foot diameter pipes. We got them little 4-foot diameter pipes here. So you get a lot of water pressure, and where does the water go? Up in everybody's basement. Yeah, that's when the problem started. When they put that interceptor sewer system in, which connected Brook Park to our sewers. Yeah, the water we get is, Strongsville, North Royalton, Brook Park, Middleburg. Not even our water. Yeah, it's bullshit. Every time you get a downpour, you have to worry about your basements around here. It's like when the house across the street sells. I'll go over and tell the neighbors, the new neighbors, don't plan on doing anything in your basement. Don't put down carpeting. Don't panel it. Put your washer and dryer 24 inches off the floor. Build a moat around your furnace and hot water tank, because your basement's going to flood. And see, I don't think the real estate agents disclose that. They're supposed to, but I don't think they do. Because I've never seen a house listing that say, oh, in torrential downpours, your basement will flood. Because then they wouldn't sell a house. Oh, Bedford had the same problem, huh? It sucks. You can't do anything in your basement. I remember a good friend of mine. Oh, he had all kinds of plans. Make a man cave in the basement. Build a room, panel it, carpeting. I told him, you can't do that. There is no way you can do that. Yeah, when I had my house up the street, when the guy had the driveway put in, he had drains put in the driveway. Well, instead of running the drain straight out and tying in at the sewer in the street, they tied in to my storm drain, my gutters, my downspout. Well, that added to my basement flooding because I was getting the water from my driveway. And when they poured the driveway, he told the people, you got to run that pipe. No, no, no. We just tie it into the downspout. No problem. If he'd have done that, the water would have gone down the drain right out to the street. Oh, that's smart. Jesus. I mean, you tell me too goddamn lazy to haul it to the dump, bury it in the backyard? Jesus Christ. Talk about lazy-ass people. Unbelievable. Although it takes all kinds.
Wow!
Yep. That's sad when assholes do that kind of shit. I'm surprised somebody didn't turn them into the city. Although it don't make no difference in Cleveland. Goddamn city inspectors, you never see them. I'll tell you, you wouldn't get away with that shit in Lakewood. Every summer, the city inspectors walk up and down the streets, and they check. Oh, you got a cracked basement window. Oh, your driveway has got a big crack in it. I hope he got a substantial fine for doing that, too. God. Don't they have bulk pickup? Most suburbs, I mean Cleveland, once a month we have bulk pickup. You can haul anything out. The first of the month, tree lawns are lined with shit around here, and the city picks it all up. But they only do it once a month. God, you know, even a farmer wouldn't do that. Some people, Jesus. Unbelievable. But like you say, the world, it takes all kinds. Hey, Walking Billy. Oh, you're actually almost like on time. What? Don't give me that look. Kathy knows what look I'm getting. Feed me. Are you dying of hunger? You don't look like you're going to fall over. Well, maybe if you lose your balance, that belly tips you over. I'm surprised you can get up. I'm just getting that look. Feed me. All right, all right, all right.
That's it, I'm through.
I'll feed you. Let me do my closing.
We
We know where right here, WDWL TV, home of not one, but 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and an Oscar. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. And we will meet again right here tomorrow night, right under the sign of the flashing Grumpy G. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye-bye.